Hello friends and fellow flute enthusiasts, and thanks for tuning in to this episode of Johnny's Quick Tips for the Native American Flute. Today we're talking about numbers, and we're not talking about number tab, and we're not talking about scale degrees. We're talking about when you're buying a flute and you see this number next to the note. We see this on, we've seen it on a couple of videos here on YouTube when they talk about A4, E4, D5, you see these numbers next to the notes and it's like, what does this mean? And so today I just wanted to take a moment to explain what this means, because we're seeing a lot of flute makers starting to identify the flutes this way. So what the number actually is identifying that note in an octave group. So when we look at a piano, and I have this handout in the Perfecting High and Odd Notes course, where you learn to perfect those high notes and all the half holes, and we work chromatically, things like that. But when we look at this, we see that most of our mid-range flutes fall into that 4 category. So the 4 category is more of our mid-range. So for example, I've got a couple of flutes that I'll demo here just so you can get an idea of size but also pitch of these flutes. So this is a C flute. This is a C4 flute. This is actually, a lot of folks call this low C, and it's actually mid C. So this is middle C on a piano. You walk to a piano, you find middle C, do. Right there. This is the start of the 4 category octave group. And this is what it sounds like. So if you hear or see people say, oh, this is a low E, low D, low C, it may actually be middle C or mid D, mid E. For example, this is an E. This is an E4. So this is a mid E. A lot of people call this a low E. So let's talk about octaves. What is an octave? Well, on this E flute, we have our fundamental, which is all closed, all holes closed, and this is how we label the flute, right? It's an E with all holes closed. So this is E. This note on the flute is our octave, or sometimes you can, if you just overblow the flute, that will also create an octave. Typically though, the all holes open here, with that third one from the top, if it's a 6-hole, creates that octave. So fundamental and octave. So check this out. I'm going to start with a true low E. So this is an E. This is an E3. Look how big this flute is. This is a low E. So this is an E3. So I'm going to play through these. This is E3, then I'll move to my E4, and then my E5. You'll see the difference in the size and the pitch. So here we go. So when you're looking at buying your next flute, look for that number if you see it. Sometimes we can just see, mid, low, high, things like that help us determine what the pitch is of the flute. So I want to show you something, one last thing. We mentioned that this was the C4, okay? So starting from this C all the way to the next C, right? So the note below C is B. So you're going to get C4 all the way up to B4. Then you're going to start C5, and then you're going to go all the way up to B5, which I don't think they make flutes that high. There are some flute makers out there making extremely low and extremely high flutes. But again, the majority that you're going to see in our community and in our industry is going to be in that 5, 4, and 3 range. So I hope this has been helpful explaining what those numbers are on the flutes. Please consider subscribing. We do lots of flute tips, tutorials, cover songs, original songs, meditations, all sorts of things surrounding the Native American flute. Hope to see you in the next video. Take care.